Stealing of crude oil in Nigeria has reached a level that something drastic must be done to halt it. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, has defended the pipeline surveillance contract given to former militant leader, government Ekpemupolo, popularly known as Tompolo. Speaking at the presidential villa in Abuja, the group chief executive officer of NNPC, Mele Kyari, said the federal government took the right decision by hiring private contractors to secure oil pipelines nationwide. He added that some religious leaders are involved in oil thefts. Dari, at the beginning of this administration, this same government, Tompolo, was declared wanted.
Before the beginning of this administration?
Yes, in 2015. They were still looking for him.
When this administration started?
Check very well. Yeah. They were still looking for him. I remember maybe Ekpemupolo used to be one of his lawyers then and everything. And the old search and everything, after some time, it went down. So, from a wanted man
to a government contractor.
To a government contractor. That man must really be powerful.
No. Things happen. When Nigeria happens to you, the best you can do is accept it, analyze it, and see why. Things happen. That's Nigeria happening to you and me and to Tompolo now. You see, like I was trying to say, it was declared wanted before the advent of this administration by a former government. And then the authorities of this administration inherited the search. And I think at the beginning we were being told that they cited him here. But after a while, nobody was talking about Tompolo. And then we started seeing him at social functions. And nobody was talking about arresting him. And today, don't forget that government did not just say, we want to protect pipelines and we want to give it to Tompolo. No. They said we want private security outfits to help protect our pipelines. And at the end of the day, I'm sure if you ask for the bidding papers, you will see them. Some companies must have bidded. He bidded along with them and he made the...
So, Dari, I'm taking you to February 11, 2016, where the EFCC declared Tompolo wanted.
And that is
2016. This administration.
Yes.
Is this administration?
That's from EFCC.
Yes.
You see, but before then, he was in trouble. That's what I'm trying to establish. Okay. Now, what became of this EFCC search is what I was trying to explain. That after a while, we're not hearing anything again. So now, he emerged that he's a government contractor. And like you said, he must have his contacts in the right places. But beyond the person of Tompolo, the question I want to ask is, do we have needs to really protect the pipeline? I'll say yes. If you know the level of vandalization that goes on along the route of our pipelines, forget the economic disadvantage of the country.
Communities.
Forget what government is losing or Nigeria is losing as a nation. The danger to lives and properties. We've seen it happen. There was one in Delta State some years back. Hundreds of the OD one was there. The one in Lagos here, I did somewhere where that school got burnt and all that. You see, the truth of the matter is we need to halt pipeline vandalization. It's important. Not only because of what I said, also the effect of the tankers and trailers on our roads. If there are less vandalism, the movement by vehicles will reduce. But the question Nigerians want to ask now, you see, the name Tompolo casts shadows over all these other reasons. The question now is, why should it be Tompolo? And I'll tell you, maybe those in authority have come to realize that the best thing we can do is to ask the cat to guide the pot of meat. You understand? Maybe they have discovered that that's the best for us, so that we will avoid the loss of lives and the other attendant dangers. If Tompolo and his men will guide the pipelines properly, maybe we should test them out, because there was a time it was Gani Adams and his own men too. So since we have gotten to a stage where our armed forces.
Please.
Our armed forces can no longer protect our lives and properties, and we need private individuals and organizations. Well, if it can be any other Nigerian, I don't see why it should not be Tompolo.
I saw on another medium some Niger Delta boys carrying RPG, carrying guns, then saying that, look, they were excluded from the largesse, that in their own community they have a lot of pipelines that goes through their own community, that the federal government shouldn't have made Tompolo the sole protector of the pipelines. This is the bandwagon effect that we should expect.
Well, actually, when you look at the situation of, I don't want to describe Nigeria as a failed country, but some will say it is. But a situation where the non-state actors are more powerful than the states, than the government. A lot of abnormalities.
You get to see things like this.
Yes, you get to see things. I will not say that why I'm talking about abnormality is because we know who Tompolo was before, getting this kind of contract. And he's not getting it for the first time, by the way. Yes. He's been doing it even before this administration. The way they fought themselves, it's like you bring the nation down to its knees in order to gain popularity, and at the end of the day, government now comes to you and bows to you so that you can allow the rest of us to have our peace. I guess that is why people are talking about Tompolo and this contract. Otherwise, I do not see anything wrong in private individuals or private companies getting the job of surveillance of our pipelines. Because the question we should ask ourselves is this: do we need to protect them? Ordinarily, we should have made use of technology more, but we are not. We are not deploying. Yes, and the quantum of theft is huge. And you also know that these people, they've been stealing this thing, and when they employ them to do this job, does it reduce stealing or theft? It does. So you now have to calculate, what are you gaining by employing them, and what are you losing by not contracting them? So when you look at the whole equation, you now find out that, it's better for you to probably get these people. I guess it's because of who Tompolo is. That is why people are talking about Tompolo. But issuing contracts shouldn't be a problem. Everybody does it. You have to protect your assets. As of today, this oil is our national asset. That is where we all eat from. And whatever we can do to protect and preserve, we should do. So I also think that is why the NNPC man is talking from that perspective. That, well, it's not the only, that it was a bidding process, and they found out that he could do the work. And as people are even complaining, like you rightly said, that is the problem. I hope those ones now will not also intensify efforts at blowing pipelines so that they can be recognized.
That will now be his own responsibility.
Exactly. They have given him the job.
Because he's expected to carry them along.
Afolabi from Songo Ota in Ogun State on the line. Thank you for joining us, engineer.
Yes, Mrs. Folutile, Ayo, and Derek. I think I want to tip some words on the issue of remittance. Like I said yesterday, we seem not to understand what remitting is all about. And when I look critically, I think the Ministry of Finance needs to wake up. Or maybe there are some of the kind of mechanisms that are going on. How can you be running out and in when it comes to money is what we call economy. We want the economy to function, and you are choking money. When you choke money, you don't transfer money when it's supposed to be at the right time. Your economy cannot flow, and it will have problems. That's what we are seeing now. The dollar is 690 naira. And how do they make payments accordingly when it is And again, I think the Minister of Finance, to me, should come up to show us that she is eligible.
Thank you for your
Good
contribution.
morning. Good.
So, moving forward now, we've seen this trend, and I thought the NSCDC, that it was part of their responsibility, that they have a primary functional responsibility to guard these pipelines. And they are armed.
For this purpose.
So,
you will recall that when the argument for and against the NCDC carrying arms started, the issue of pipeline protection was the focus. And then we've spent so much money arming them, providing logistics for them, vehicles, ensuring that they have units in all parts of the country.
They're now serving as security to.
And now all they can do is serve as security aids to council chairmen, not even state governors, because those ones prefer soldiers and police, council chairmen and possibly councillors. You see, we don't get our priorities right in this country.
So what they are paid to do,
they can no longer do it. Are we now talking?
Effect. So we now go for militants, non-state actors.
No, we have to see if we pay attention to who they are, we may miss the point.
Because these guys will be armed to carry out this job.
Now, that is private security organizations. That's what they are now. Let's see them as that. Because if we begin to look at, you see, the danger in what we are doing is much. We are harming those who may likely in future turn their gun on us. Little disagreement with the state, these non-state actors will get angry, and we have given them licenses to carry arms for the purpose of protecting our pipelines. But what happens tomorrow? Then you already see placards. Tompolo will have to call the other warlords and say, sit down, let me share the largesse with you. You take this, you take this. They are also going to get armed. Local militias here and there for the purpose of protecting pipelines. What happens tomorrow if we have a larger issue that does not favor or pleases them, and they are harmed? What happens to individuals among these people who falls out with the leadership of his own military groups and take his arms onto to the streets? We have seen policemen and soldiers turning their arms on the citizen. How much more these non-state actors that we can actually not control?
If you remember in Rivers State, this is how we got to the to discover the likes of Asari Dokubo.
Yes, now, and they are very powerful Nigerians today.
Some of them are now traditional rulers.
So that's the that's the major problem. But look at it. For example, look at your own estate now. If you live in an estate, do you rely on Nigerian security, or do you engage your own personal security men? If you don't do that, how do you get protected? So let's just look at it from that perspective, that Nigeria has also realized itself that its own security forces have failed, and they cannot do this job, and it needs to probably employ others to do the job. But let the job be done, and let's just stop this bleeding, because the bleeding is too much.